Hey everyone! Not so long ago I received a half dart kit conversion for the Nerf rival Jupiter. Let's install it. I'm that old Nerf guy. Welcome to Tag. But let's face it, I am not gonna install it into a Nerf rival Jupiter for mainly two reasons. Maybe three. First, Nerf Rival Edge is basically my favorite line, and two, this blaster is quite scarce and rare in Canada, so I really want to keep it as is. It's really a nice blaster. And the third thing is, with Rival Blaster, you normally chamber where very close to the tip where the blaster shoots, meaning if I was to put a magazine, even the small straight magazine included or supposedly included in the kit that is available, it will be right in front, and if I was to put a big Talon kit, it will not fit this blaster properly. And for those reasons, I am not going to use the Nerf Rival Jupiter to install the kit. Instead, I am going to use something a little different that is maybe more suited for this kind of kit because it will look more like a proper blaster with a magazine. But since I don't have the mag adapter for this kit, I'm going to carve myself one out of an Angle Talon mag adapter. The blaster is already on the table. Let's go check it out. As I told you, I was already into the blaster when I decided to take you along for the ride. Because my idea of a good blaster with this kit, the kit would almost fit right in, drop in. But there was a little something. I wanted something different, not just a chrono mag made out of this, because it would have been fairly easy. The shell is quite easy to modify. The only thing missing is some material here to hold the magazine, but we have the included magazine to wrap around our adapter. That said, I wanted to go with Angle Talon. The thing is, with Angle Talon, normally those chrono mag, you have just the space for the mag into your blaster, leaving the magazine out, and the little pusher will come and touch this magazine. The problem is with Angle Talon, if you go inside and I touch the magazine, I won't be able to fully seal. So what I did, I shaved a slight part of this pusher. So now when I'm going to insert it in, it's going to be right at its place, where there's going to be contact with the magazine, but there's not going to be contact lower where the magazine go back. That's a thing. So that part, quite easy to modify. You just remove the O-ring. I put a black O-ring just to put it a little stiffer so it doesn't rotate and doesn't leak air. Now it's good. This was for the adapter. I got mark on my adapter. I will need to cut it. The mark are already on the adapter listing for the Jupiter kit on Bayou Blaster site, and they seem to match quite well, except for the front one where I'm gonna go with my personal measurement, but for the rear it seems to work. You follow those measurements, maybe 1 millimeter less. I'm gonna have to shave a bit of the corner of the plastic there just to be sure it's working, but I think it's gonna be just okay inside of this shell to hold like that. Then there was the front barrel, big front piece. At first my idea was to cut slot into it so it can be inserted into the shell, and then I decided nope, the shell is made away. I would be able to cut a slight part here because this thing will just sit about 8 millimeter over this little ridge here. For the barrel itself, I completely emptied the interior, flush with the bottom, so I can just drop my barrel adapter in. I kept the two little wings on each side so I can center it to hold it in place. I know this is the original O-ring and it is way too far. My solution was additional O-ring, and a bigger one. So for those, basically had the 4 O-ring at the base. Those are just used as a spacer for now, okay? So you pull on it, you really push your O-ring down, and then we're gonna go with the big one for now. You put 3 thinner one, then the big one into its groove. But the thing is still moving, since those thinner one are easier to stretch. You're gonna install the 4th one in there, and you're gonna make sure it take its place. And when this is done, the barrel is not moving. You will have created a good stopper. There is a groove in there, so the O-ring will not slip, and this thing is right at the bottom. Now, putting it there, yeah, for the length is perfect, okay? I know I haven't touched that, but the length is quite perfect. Let me just push it at the bottom, be sure it's as straight as possible. No, it's not. Yeah, it's fairly straight. It's just for show. This thing, see, this is too far. So this thing comes to here, and with this part in its place, it is exactly at the right position. So that means this kit, lengthwise, the way it's made, it's fitting so far there. For this little pusher, I'm gonna have to carve myself a window here to be sure the angle tan magazine doesn't hit the bottom of this. But with this part in, it's gonna clear all the space. I want to make sure we see a lip of aluminum here on the side, and this part is gonna be glued down, because normally there is an O-ring there, but there was not on this kit. That's why I didn't care about shaving this part, but now it should work. The distance is right. Now we need to take the right measurement, place the magazine inside, but first I'm gonna have to cut this little part here so I can fit the front muzzle fixed into the blaster. Both half of the shell are pretty much cut down to receive the kit and the mag adapter. My glue is dried on the pusher. So first thing, okay, pusher is in place. Okay, I'm gonna have to hold it in front, and it's lining up pretty much perfectly. Now, I already followed the measurement. I told you that we're on the side for BioBlaster on the straight half dart mag adapter. I used it to make this angle one, and that was not easy because of the little latch. It is installed higher in the mag adapter, meaning I had to shave and shave and shave until I completely see it on top of it, so it's gonna fit this blaster. Now, the thing is, what level do I need to have this thing? Okay, so pretty much here. So yeah. Yeah, okay. Seems like pretty much closing, maybe 92% of the way. It's not completely closed, but that's because that is a knockoff blaster. I am basically butchering my way into this blaster to make a great blaster with a kit meant for a different blaster. the easiest solution would be to cut the magazine. I had this idea, I already cut the magazine into pieces. The only part I haven't cut is this, because I want to cut it very clean to use it for a magwell cover at the end. It's going to be nicer. But for the magazine, I completely emptied out the magazine so the mag adapter will fit into it. And now I'm going to know if it's going to be any good. If I leave it there, can I? Yes, I can just drop it in. Supposed to go all the way at the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty straight. Okay, that's a good sign. Yeah, and that one fits over it. So if I could just glue those on both sides, I'm gonna glue it with whatever means to this adapter. This mod is gonna be permanent for this blaster. I could then maybe put back the mag release, or put at least a notch that the mag release is gonna hold back into this blaster, so this magazine should hold in place. Nice. Maybe a little notch on the other side, but I think only one could be good. It's gonna hold the blaster. Yeah, maybe drill a hole here and use this mag release. Oh no, I'm gonna have to glue something because this one was catching into a little notch that was coming out of the magazine. Don't know if I got the other part. It was a little notch coming out of the magazine, and there is not enough space to glue one thickness of plastic between the magwell and this magazine. Yeah, I think it should work. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna end up gluing this to the bottom, but before I do anything to it, I'm gonna be sure to mark an imaginary line here and to paint the part black so it's better going with the whole blaster before I put the green cap on it. For the green cap, I'm gonna have to cut all the way to this straight line here and slot myself a piece of this part here because this magazine is coming out pretty much all the way in the back. But no, this seems like working. Okay, so if I just glued this thing there to fix it, make my little notch on the magwell, I will be able to test fire it. Neat. Okay, to be honest, we are on the very next day because all the glue that I put in had to dry and everything had to solidify. But this thing is almost a one-piece magwell, mag adapter for this blaster. I used the original mag that I emptied out like I showed you. I added two little notch here. I carved them into the shell. And now, since it's sitting at the right position, I can just drop it into my shell, and it doesn't want to move, doesn't want to go anywhere. I might add a little screw, drill a little hole and put a little screw through my little tab here, but they seems like holding. I had to cut flush the little tooth that were there to fit into the fins that were originally in the mag, and I finished up the bottom piece of the mag for the magwell, so it's a little nicer when we look at it. And yeah, I think it will work. Now, for a test fit. I am not going to put the spring right in right now. My goal is to see with a mag in if everything is closing. Yeah. I need to hold the barrel because it's heavy. But if I hold it in place, yeah, everything is closing. So I think I'm going to be good to put it back together and test fire the thing. Basically. That's cool. To note, in the final version, this clear magazine, ugly with the glue through it, is going to be black to fit with the blaster. I'm not going to paint this little part. It's too nice where it is, and it's just at the right place. Like you see, I made them out so it fits cleanly for the new magazine, and it's like pretty awesome. Not that complicated of a project, but a lot of tinkering around it. Let me put it back together and we're gonna try it. Okay, this thing is all put back together, and the only thing I know so far is that it can slide in front and that it is sealing. Quite a light prime on it. The spring I put was not that hard. I had to put a better spring in because the original spring in that blaster was not cutting it. I mean, I don't even know how they shove it in. Must have been quite a sport to put a spring almost double the size of the spring that goes in that blaster. The internal are basically chronos. So this blaster is basically an angle talon version of a chrono mag, which apparently didn't exist. I've tried to ask for a kit. I tried to check around if it was a possibility, because I really dig those angle talon. But now, can it fire? I'm hoping this is the same spring that I left inside, the same spring I had during my mud video where I shot about 85 FPS rival round with this thing. So if I can shoot above 125 with it, since it's sealing, I will be plenty happy. Now let's load, we're gonna shoot 2 Bamboo 2.0 at the end. 2 Bamboo 1.0. Let's put, I got 3. Okay, let's put 3 Max Dart. One of them is very bad. It's gonna go away, so 2 Max Dart. And a couple AF knockoffs. Chinese Blaster, Chinese Dart. Always a good thing, and they are small. I like them because they're 36mm and they normally have low friction. Okay, chronograph is on. Now, let's hope it's chambering. If it's not chambering, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Seems okay. 130. 133. 132. Those were the AF knockoff. I think I put 4 in there. Yep. And this one was a misread. Okay. 123 on Max Dart. 127. Still good. 127 again. 120. Was that Bamboo 1.0. 149 on Bamboo 2.0 and 150 on Bamboo 2.0 again, and now I'm empty. Yeah, that thing is really cool. I mean, we have 132.6 average on a soft spring, which was shooting 85 FPS out of rival round, because this is the same exact spring that I use in my mud video. Meaning there is a lot more potential for this Eagle Agent blaster. I mean, that is pretty awesome. That kind of velocity, it's something. I'm gonna show it more to you, maybe with the stock on and the barrel on my presentation / review video. I'm preparing this to see if it's worth it for the modification, the time and everything, where I'm gonna more describe this work. But this blaster is done. The Angle Talon Chrono Mag out of the Eagle Agent Rival Edge knockoff blaster is done. That's it for this small video. In the meantime, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at that old Nerf guy. Please leave a like and comment, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that bell to notify for my latest video. This was Dave Fatag. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.